Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today our topic of discussion is regarding the cyclone Asani which is going to struck the eastern coast of India, has developed in the Bay of Bengal. So today we are going to discuss about how the cyclones all across the world and especially in the area of Indian Ocean are named. We are going to discuss the detailed guidelines regarding the same. So first of all, the context in which we are discussing today's issue is because certainly a cyclone that has been named as Asani. It has developed in the southeastern regions of Bay of Bengal, and as per the Indian Meteorological Department, it has intensified into a severe cyclone. If you look at the location of Asani, as you can see, this is also given in the corresponding diagram, corresponding map. So it lies over the west central and adjoining southwest Bay of Bengal, somewhere we can say 300 kilometers from the southeast of Kakinada. Kakinada is a region in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Then as per the meteorologist, it is believed that after some time it is likely to recurve toward north and northeastward direction, and then it will start moving toward the northwestern Bay of Bengal around northern Andhra as well as the coastline of Odisha. The name Asani to this cyclone was given by Sri Lanka, and it is a Sinhalese term which basically translates into English as something as wrath. So obviously the question comes, before going into discussion about that how we name the cyclone, let us first briefly understand what are cyclones and specifically what is a tropical cyclone. So tropical cyclone or any cyclone as such is defined as a very intense low pressure system. Intense low pressure system, as you can see from this region, the central region of cyclone has a very high temperature, and due to this very high temperature it develops a very low pressure area as the warm wind start to move in the upward direction. So as the warm wind start to move in the upward direction near the central area, and due to creation of this intense low pressure system in the central part, what happens, winds from all directions start to converge toward this low pressure center. So that is why at the surface of the cyclone we see a very strong convergence of winds. Then further, as these winds start to converge, due to the warming nature or due to the warmer nature of the central area, this wind also start to ascend rapidly in the upward direction, thus creating a kind of upward spiral movement. This upward spiral movement is something that is very unique to the cyclones, and that is where the wind is rotating at very high speed, and this is the main reason why cyclones become so destructive in nature. If you look at the major areas where tropical cyclones are generated across the world, so first major areas are around the north and central Atlantic, where the cyclones are locally termed by the name of hurricanes. Hurricanes generally affect the Caribbean island coast as well as the eastern coast of United States of America as well as Mexico. The other reason is the North and South Indian Ocean. The cyclone generally that develops in North Indian Ocean, most of them develop in the Bay of Bengal region relatively as compared to Arabian Sea region, and these affect largely the eastern coast of India and other southeastern countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, we have Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam and all these countries. Similarly, the other region where we have development of cyclones are in the eastern Pacific, where the cyclones locally are termed by the name of typhoons, and these typhoons are the ones that generally affect the coastline of Japan as well as the eastern coast of China. The other region where we have development of cyclone is in the South Pacific, around the coastline of Australia, where the cyclones are locally also known by the name of Willy Willy. So these are the major 5 regions where we see the development of tropical cyclones. Now coming to the main topic, that how the cyclones are named. So the naming procedure started somewhere in the year 2000, when we have a group called as WMO, that is World Meteorological Organization, /ESCAP, that stands for United Nations Economic and Social Commissions for Asia and the Pacific. So in the year 2000, this particular group had around 8 members, that was Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Thailand. And it is in this year that these groups and these countries collectively decided to name the cyclones that are being generated in the northern Indian Ocean. Following this, somewhere around 2018, we have a new development when more countries became member of UNESCAP, and we have addition of countries like Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, United Arab Emirates, that is UAE, as well as Yemen. So as of now, total 13 countries are member of UN ESCAP, and these 13 countries currently are involved in naming of the cyclones that generate in the Indian Ocean region. Now these 13 countries collectively report their names to a panel that is called as WMO/ESCAP panel on tropical cyclones, and based on the names that is given by these countries, total 13 names are given by these 3 countries. So we have 13 countries each giving 13 names. So total we develop a list of 169 names. Now the countries are arranged, as you can see, in a column in an alphabetical order. So you can see we have Bangladesh, that is B, then I, then IR, then M, O, P, Q, and so and so and so. And each of the countries give 13 names that are arranged in a respective row. So we have 13 countries, 13 names, 169 names. So how the naming is done? So suppose once the list has been completed, the first row and first column, whatever name is there, that is picked up for the cyclone. The next cyclone is named as per the first name given by the second country, then same first name given by third country, and then by this method 13 cyclones are named in a successive order. Once we reach at the bottom of this particular column, again we have to go at the top of the second column. So again the second name given by the first country, second name given by the second country, second name given by the third country, and so and so and so. So now if you look closely, what you can see here, that here we are currently in the first column, and the name given to this particular cyclone is Asani, and this we can see is the name that is given by Sri Lanka. Before that the cyclone was called as Jawad, the name was given by Saudi Arabia. Before that we have Sahin by Qatar, and so and so and so. So last cyclone that was named by India was called as Gati, which developed few years back, and we can see here that we can go all the way up to Mocha, which is a name given by Yemen. After the cyclone is named Mocha, the next successive cyclone will be named Nisarg, that again is a name that is given by, will be called as Biparjay, that again is a name given by the Bangladesh. So that is how the naming of cyclone is done. Now obviously the question comes that why we are making so much effort to name the cyclone, that is what are the results that we are expecting, or what is the importance of naming of cyclones. So first and foremost importance is that if you name any particular cyclones, it is easier for people to remember the names, and easier for people to associate their memories or take decisions as per the guidelines given by government with respect to that particular cyclone. Not only it is helpful for people, general public, but it also helps the scientific community, the media, disaster managers in having some important announcement about the cyclones or publishing guidelines about the cyclone. And also it is easier for media person to discuss that with which cyclones or with reference to which cyclones they are discussing. Similarly, the naming of cyclone also helps us makes it easier to identification of individual cyclones, create awareness of the development of cyclone, and also rapidly disseminate warnings, so have a much better understanding, so that public can take appropriate actions as well as officials can take appropriate actions with respect to that particular cyclone. And finally, the naming aims to increase the community preparedness and remove confusion, especially because if you look at the areas like Indian Ocean and Caribbean Sea, East Pacific Ocean, at a single time we also have instances of more than one cyclonic system developing, and that is why which cyclonic system, with reference to which cyclonic system the government is talking about or the officials are talking about, so such kind of confusion does not arise, and that is why the naming of cyclone also plays a very important part. So these are the three four important points that is relevant for the naming of cyclones. Now, World Meteorological Organization and its regional center has proposed certain guidelines as far as the naming of cyclone is concerned. The first such guideline is that the name that is proposed by any country should be neutral in nature. Now, what do we understand by the term neutral? So, neutral here basically focuses upon that it should not associate, the name of the cyclone should not associate with the politics and political figure, or any kind of religious beliefs or religion as such, or any kind of culture or any kind of gender. That means name should not associate with any particular community, any particular gender, any particular culture or politics and political figure. The second guideline is that name proposed should not be very rude and cruel in nature. That means the naming of cyclones should not be done, suppose for example, in such a way that it can actually intensely or unintentionally hurt the sentiments of certain people. Then third, the name of the cyclone, since its main aim is to have much wider dissemination of information and much better dissemination of information. So it should be short in nature, and maximum letters of a cyclonic name should be 8 letters. It should not be more than 8 letters in length. And third, it should be easy to pronounce, so that it is easier for people to understand and disseminate information. Then the next guideline is the proposed name should be provided with both the pronunciation, that how it has to be pronounced, as well as the voice over. That means the country which is naming the cyclone, it has to give a voice that how they are going to pronounce the name, so that the other countries can also pronounce it in a similar manner. The second guideline is the names of tropical cyclone over the North Indian Ocean will not be repeated. That means the name that has been used already once will not be used again. It will be another name, or a new or fresh name have to be used every time a new cyclone is generated. However, this convention, interestingly, is not followed in the case of North Atlantic Ocean. The reason we can understand from the fact that in the North Atlantic Ocean, the number of countries that are submitting the names are very few, and that is why they cannot find new names at a very periodic or regular interval, and that is why in North Atlantic Ocean, the hurricanes that affect the North American coastline, especially US and Mexico, they have a repetition of names. However, one convention there also is followed, that if certain cyclones are associated with very large scale disaster and have been responsible for killing of a mass number of people, or are associated with a huge number of human casualty, in that case that name is permanently retired. For example, the few years back in year 2010, when we have very disastrous hurricane that is called as Katrina struck the United Nations, it caused large scale disasters and loss of human lives and property, and that is why this name has been permanently retired, because the main aim is that it does not actually arouse this bad memories or painful memories in the people by again using the same name for the cyclone. And last is, it should not be very rude and cruel in nature. So these are the 6-7 important guidelines that is followed by all the countries when they are submitting the names of cyclones to the respective panel of WMO. So that is all about this particular short topic about naming of the cyclones, what are the cyclones, and cyclone Isani. I hope you understood about this topic well. Thank you very much.